The Obsidian Auto Roulette POD consists of a variety of configurable components to run and manage the games, including the associated signage and displays. These components include a Starlight controller, which runs content for the signage and central displays, an ETS server for running and configuring the auto roulette games, a progressive server for providing a progressive value to games such as Power X, a camera to provide visuals for the player terminal and central display, and a serial to Ethernet adapter to allow wheel communication over Ethernet. This video will cover the Progressive Manager configuration, as well as the installation and progressive configuration for the ETS server. The Progressive Manager server is responsible for controlling the progressive for the Power X Roulette theme. To begin, log into the superuser account of the Progressive Manager. If you are having issues logging in or need login credentials, please contact product support. Caution: before progressing, ensure the times between the ETS server and the Progressive server match. Otherwise, the Progressive will fail to link. Click on the PM Manager UI. Select Use SSO and log in. Enter the business details of the site you are installing the Obsidian POD in, and hit Save. This concludes the Progressive Management configuration. The small form-factor base image must be installed after setting up the Obsidian Auto Roulette hardware, but prior to configuring the player terminals. To begin, connect a mouse and keyboard into the small form-factor PC. Insert the small form-factor base image installer USB into an open USB port. Turn the PC on. As the computer boots, repeatedly press the F12 button until a boot menu appears. On the boot device menu, select Partition to USB Install Media. The Windows installer will now launch. This may take several minutes. Select Install Now. Input the product key provided with the order. Select Next. Ensure the I accept the license term checkbox is selected, and then hit Next. Select Custom Windows Install Only. On the partition selection screen, select the largest available partition. Note, this may already be selected when you get to this section. A dialog will appear. Press OK. The Windows installation will now begin. Please wait several minutes for the installer to complete. The computer is now ready to receive the ETS software. To begin the ETS server installation, locate the install USB containing Rapid Express and Admin Console installers. Right-click the Admin Express installer and run as administrator. Hit Next. On the installation folder, hit Next. Select your ETS configuration type. In this case, we will enable single site. Select the market your jurisdiction is in. Select the Auto RNG mode. This is usually set to restricted configurations, North America. Enable SSL encryption. Select to install any optional diagnostic tools. Press Install. Under Rapid Express Server Control, navigate to the Database Config menu. Set the SQL server to the IP address of the SQL server. In single pod configurations, this IP should be 10.0.100.1. Set the username and password for the SQL server. Note, if you are unsure of the credentials, please contact product support. Press Check Database. Under Create Database, hit Yes. Once the success dialog appears, hit OK. Hit OK. Press Install Maintenance Plan. If the maintenance plan was already previously installed, this dialog will appear. Hit Yes. Once the success dialog appears, hit OK. Press Save Config and save changes. Navigate to the Service menu and start the Rapid Express service. Up next is Admin Console. To begin, right-click the Admin Console installer and run as administrator. Hit Next. Select all options and hit Next. Hit Next and install. On the desktop, open the Admin Console and log in. The first-time login information is username admin and password admin. On login, you will be prompted to put in a new password. If you are unsure what password to set, or the casino does not provide a password, please contact product support for the default password. Admin Console will now open. Under Global Settings Config, navigate to the Progressive/Mystery Awards section. Set the host type to BEPS and service security to certificate. Select the host IP to either the IP address or the host name of the Progressive Manager. In this case, we will be using the default host name of the Progressive Manager, which is BEPS-BC. Set the host port where the Progressive Manager site is being hosted. By default, this is set to 8801. Set the ETS IP to the IP address of the ETS server. By default, this is 10.0.100.1. Press OK. This concludes the installation of the ETS server. To begin the camera installation, enter the IP of the camera into the browser. A login page will appear. Enter the username and password of the camera. To get a full list of the camera settings, please refer to the hardware documentation. Under the IP/Ethernet settings, turn off DHCP. Set the IP to 10.0.100.40. Select Confirm. Enter the IP of the camera into the browser. Enter the username and password of the camera. Under the NDI settings, set the following. Ensure that Enable NDI is on. In the device name field, enter IDA-NDI In the Channels field, enter HX Stream. Ensure the multicast option is on. In the multicast IP field, enter 10.0.0.0. Select Confirm. The camera is now ready to be set up in the ETS server. The Starlight controller is responsible for controlling both the signage and the central display of the Obsidian Auto Roulette pod. This section covers the initial software installation prior to configuration. Before you begin, locate the Starlight software installers. Begin by powering on the Starlight and waiting for the white screen to appear on the sign. Plug in the STLAND installer into the Starlight. The sign should show a notification. Wait for the sign to reboot and come back to the white screen. Repeat the same steps for the STL-CTR installer. Wait for the sign to reboot and come back to a gray screen. Repeat the same steps for the signage content and central display content. The software is now installed onto the Starlight and is now ready to be configured. This concludes the Starlight software installation.